So welcome everyone. My name is Kyle Troy. I am the director and biologist for the Village of Mamaronec's Marine Education Center. So for those of you who have just come on, the comments come in very slow for me. So answer at home and I'll answer about 5 seconds later. So today and this whole week we're gonna do animal adaptations, which is kind of just what makes animals good for their environment. So we're here and this whole series is about the Long Island Sound, which you're looking at. I'm on the marsh over here in Harbor Island Park. We were supposed to go to Otter Creek, but it got a bit windy, so we are over here at the West Basin. So today we are gonna do a mini bird watch, kind of. So if you listen closely during the time where I give you a couple seconds to answer the questions, you could hear the birds in the background. There's tons of birds that live in the Long Island Sound. They come here for migration, they come here to nest, they come here to winter. So during the winter, the Marine Education Center actually does a winter bird walk, and you can always join those. This summer I'll be doing, hopefully, bird walks. And for those of you who are new, the opening has been postponed, and until further notice, we're not sure when we will be opening yet, but I'll be doing these until then. So today we're going to be talking about birds. And when you guys come down to the Marine Education Center, and a lot of you have, to do this activity, because we do programs twice a day, every day, free to the public. One of them is this little mini bird watch. And we walk around and everybody gets a pair of these. Do we know what these are out there? For those of you who have used them. So these are binoculars. And they help you see the birds better. They get really up close. And then we also use one of these. So this is a bird book. This helps us identify, because there's tons and tons of birds out there. So the first thing I want to talk about is how you identify birds. What do you think, what of our 5 senses, for those of you out there who know what our 5 senses are, what senses do you think we use to spot birds? What senses do you think? So we have our eyes, right? See them in the trees. And then we have our ears. Those are our 2 best senses to spot birds. Yes, and so you actually are gonna, they're very good at hide and seek. So you're gonna hear them first before you see them most of the time. So today we're gonna be talking about 4 birds. 2 of them you'd probably see in your backyard. For those of you that don't have water by you, you're gonna see them in your backyard. Nice, Emma. Binoculars, very close. So when you're in your backyard, and I bet a lot of you guys have feeders, you're gonna see our first bird. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play its song. Every bird has a song, and if you could hear in the background, you have a mockingbird behind me singing very loudly. So when you're bird watching, I'm wearing my uniform, but when you're bird watching in the woods or by the water, it's better to wear colors that are similar to your background so the birds can't see you. And you want to be very quiet, right? Not like me right now who's talking to you. The mockingbird doesn't seem to care though. So I'm gonna play our first bird song. And you guys at home, listen and guess, tell me if you know, if you've heard the song before, or if you know who sings it. Write it out. Okay. So listen closely. Have you guys heard that before? It's in your backyards, especially now. I'm gonna wait for somebody to answer for this one. See if anybody knows. You're gonna see them a lot now. Anybody out there? Again, these comments come in very slow, so I'm gonna turn you guys around. So do we all know what this is? So this is close, Mom. This is a northern cardinal. So this is a cardinal, and so the cardinal, very cool. You're gonna see them a lot now. As you can see, one is dark and one is very bright. Why do you think that is? So that is a good way to identify this bird. If you're doing bird watching, a good way to identify this bird is by its color, because its color is what? Red. So the red lets you know that it's the cardinal. But you could see one is very dull and one is very bright. Why do you think that is? Yes, male and female. Which one do you think the male is, or which one is? Very close, Sophie. Good answer though, that's good. Which one do you think is the girl and which one is the boy? So the boy is the red and the girl is the very dull color. If you see the girl in the wild, you're gonna see she does have red in her. Not as red as the male. Why do you think the boy is brighter? So this is a big word, and they do something called sexual dimorphism. So this bird and a lot of other birds, not all birds, a lot of birds do that, where the male is brighter than the female. Yes, Karen. So it's to attract the female. The boys in a lot of bird species are brighter to attract the female. They want to be as bright as possible. So what other features of this robin, when you're out bird watching, are you gonna notice, besides that red color, are you gonna notice? So if you're answering at home, its beak is pretty. Very good, Sophie. I'm gonna get to that, Sophie. You're actually very, very spot on. So when you're out in the wild, another distinguishing feature besides that red, even though that red's gonna be the first thing that you're gonna see, is that bill, right? That beak. Beak is pretty big, and then that black around its beak and its eyes. So you're gonna see that. So, like Sophie said, this is a cardinal. So, like Sophie said, the red color, it's because it eats too many apples. She's actually not far off. It's actually really cool. The cardinal gets its red from what it eats. It takes the yellow pigments out of its food, like its berries, and it turns its feathers red. So very close. So I want to show you, because their nests are actually really cool. So the next picture. So this is their nest. What do you think their nest is made out of? So cardinals' nests are made up of hay, grasses, twigs, pine. It keeps their eggs warm. And they're going to be high up in the trees, so you're not going to be able to see them most of the time, but sometimes they fall down, and a lot of you have seen them. All right, everybody listen really closely. Let's see. All right, listen very closely. Let me know if you know who this comes from. Who sings this? Take a good guess. You're gonna see these all around now. These are very prominent. Play one more. So a lot of these birds have a lot of different songs. You all hear it? Very close. So Katie said blue jay. So blue jay, it's not a blue jay, but very good answer, because the blue jay copies a lot of these birds. So this is the bird, and I'm gonna show you the picture. Let me know if you know what bird it is. So do we all know what this is? Good job, Karen. It is the American robin. So the American robin is kind of where the phrase early bird gets the worm. What do you think they eat? What do you think they eat at home? You're gonna see them hopping around your yard a lot. So this is our robin, and they eat worms and they eat berries. But the cool thing about robins is that they kind of have a breakfast, lunch, and dinner like us. For breakfast, like early bird gets the worm, that's our robin here, the earliest bird up pretty much. He likes to eat worms in the morning. And then in the afternoon, he starts eating berries. So for bird watching, the best time to go, you could hear them now, but the best time to go look for birds, especially now in the springtime, you're gonna see a lot of cool birds. Like our warblers, one of my favorite. Warblers are all different colors, but there's a lot of the yellow warbler, which is very cool. So if you go out early one day, if you guys are all up early and check out the birds outside your window, if you're by the woods or the water, you're gonna see a lot of cool species right now. So this bird eats worms and berries, and they actually, to tell the boy versus the girl, the boy is much brighter, just like that cardinal. The boy is brighter, but they're the same color. The girl is just a little duller, a little less colorful than him. And what other features do you see about him that if you're watching for him, you're gonna notice first? Look close. You're gonna see, you have a downy in your backyard, Lynn? Yes, the red and orangish belly. You're gonna see that first. And then there's another distinguishing feature, which is that white around its eyes. So you're gonna see that white. But again, you're probably gonna hear this guy first before you see him, or vice versa. Sometimes I see them first. They hop around a lot. They don't really care about people being around. So our next bird is a bird that you might not have in your backyard. So I'm gonna play it. Hold on. And you guys let me know if you've ever heard him. So this bird is a bird, he's not a bird that would be in the woods. He would be in the woods, but not really. He likes to be by the water, so I'm giving you a hint there. He's by a lot of different bodies of water he likes. Okay, ready? Everybody listen up. Let's see if anyone from Mamaroneck knows this one. I think we all do. And then give it a second for you guys to answer. I'll play it one more time. Close, Lynn? Not close, but they do sound very similar. Let's see, one more time. So this is one of our water birds. Just another hint. Let's see. Not playing. Hold on. answer, but no, it's not a killdeer. So I'm gonna say it. Actually, I'm not gonna say it, I'm gonna show you the picture. So this is a cool looking bird, right? So these are big, big guys. This is a big hawk called an osprey. So you're gonna look at those talons there. So this is an osprey. You're gonna see these guys all along the water, especially now. They're trying to find a girl or a boy, make their nest with. It is a hawk, good job. It's a type of hawk called an osprey. So, almost, Kate. They're very close in size. Eagles are bigger. And they don't have that black on their head. So, look at those talons. So you're gonna see them all around here. They like to be by water because what do you think they like to eat? What do you think an osprey likes to eat? Using those big, big talons. So, an osprey likes to eat fish. And a big fish they like to eat out here. Yes, Samantha, good job. Hi, Tommy. Fish, yes. So their primary diet is fish. Good job, Mandy. So they use those big talons, and if you ever get, and I see it all the time, it's actually very cool if you guys are ever sitting by the water to watch them fish. They're one of the best fishermen in the water. They get their fish about 70% of the time after 4 dives, which is crazy. So if you see them go, they grab the fish with their talons and they grab them so the fish literally looks like it's still swimming. So their head is by their head. It's pretty cool to see them dive into the water and grab those fish. So if you're ever down here and you get to see them dive for the fish, that would be great. It's very cool. So their nests are right here, and you're gonna see them. Where do you think they nest? Has anybody ever seen one of those? Look how big that is. What do you think their nest is made up of mostly? So their nest is made up mostly of branches. As you can see, they need big nests. And you're gonna see these nests all over the place by water. So if you look closely, they like to be on very tall buildings, light poles, towers, trees. When I bring you guys back into Otter Creek, you're gonna see there's a lot of man-made platforms. They will use those very quickly. And ospreys most likely will come back to that same area to nest each year. So you're gonna see the same ospreys. If you see an osprey, you're gonna see, most of the time, it's the same ospreys you've seen nesting. So next time you're here, you're gonna listen for that call and look up because they are all over the place and one of the coolest fishermen in the Sound. A lot of you guys will know what it is, but I'm not sure by the sound if you'll know what it is. So this is our sound. All right, ready? Everyone listen. John, that's a good name for them. So listen to this. Does anyone out there know who makes this sound? I want to know if somebody gets this right. I'm not going to say it until one person answers. Again, the comments come through slow. I'll play it one more time. Good answer, Tommy. It's not that easy, so no, it's not a seagull. This one's a little hard. This is my last one. Penguin. It's only animals that live in the Sound, but good answer, Lindsay. So all these birds come from the Sound. All right, I'm gonna show you the picture. You're gonna be very surprised. So this is our mute swan. So a lot of you out there probably thought they are mute, They're just less quiet than most animals. Yes, that's a swan. A little bit, Lynn. Okay. Nice job, Zach. So that's a swan. So has everybody out there seen a swan before? Who is scared of swans? So swans can be very, very mean, so you don't want to really go near a swan, but they're beautiful. So a cool thing about swans, and now you guys know a fun fact, they actually do make noise. And if they make a couple of different noises, they also hiss at you because they're mean. But there's a couple of different things. They hiss, and then when they're flying, you're going to hear them too. They make a funny noise when they're flying, and they're very awkward flyers. But a cool fun fact about the swan that lives here in the Long Island Sound, we have 3 or 4 that live in the harbor here, and they mate for life, which a lot of birds do not do, a lot of animals do not do. They will mate for life. So that's our beautiful swan. And can anyone tell me if you could tell the difference between a girl or a boy? They do look like a heart when they're together, Emma. Samantha, all birds are nice. They just don't like you coming near them. Sometimes they get mad if you go near their babies, so they get mean. But they are very nice. So while we're on that subject, feeding these guys in the wild over here is not very good, because all these birds that you see, they help out the ecosystem here. So all these birds are very important to the Long Island Sound. That's why I'm showing you. And we'll go in a couple weeks, we'll talk about more shorebirds when we go to Otter Creek, when it gets a little warmer. So you don't want to feed these guys, because again, they get more aggressive to people if you're feeding them and then they don't get the food that they want. So they like to eat native species. What do we think they eat in the wild, these guys? So this one's a hard answer, but they like to eat the vegetables, the aquatic seaweeds. They love seaweeds, and they eat a lot of it. So you have to let them control the population of seaweeds. And, okay, so when we're IDing these guys, very easy to ID these guys in the wild. This is one of our easiest birds to ID. But what's out there, what can you see besides hearing, because you're not going to hear them, you're going to see these guys first. What do you see that would tell you it was a swan on them? So again, they're that bright white color, right? And then they have that black bulge above their beak. And then what color is their beak out there? Their bill. So then they have that big orange bill, right? So a cool thing, a lot of people don't know about these guys, because you can't really tell if it's a girl or a boy, because they both look exactly the same. But when they're about to make their nest, that big black part right there, that big black part gets big in the boy. So you're going to see that become very big. That's the only way you could really tell externally if they're a boy or a girl. So that's pretty cool. So these are all birds that live in the Long Island Sound. And in a couple of weeks, we'll go to Otter Creek, like I said. It got a little windy today. And I'll show you and talk about some of the shorebirds. And again, this week is animal adaptions. So those adaptions you saw, like we talked about with the Cardinal, the red for the boy, the dull for the girl, the red helps them get the girl, right? So next time we'll talk about shorebirds more. But on Friday at 10:30 for the live, we are going to do fish adaptions, the adaptions fish have to help them live in the water. and we'll be doing a little seining, hopefully, if that works out. All right, everybody, so I'm Kyle. I am the director of the Marine Education Center for the Village of Mamaroneck. Thank you for joining us.